Hey Kashi, I'm going to look through all the things we did last night, and so you can see what we wrote. Let me get this up to the right side. Okay. There was the transforming that function from the root function y equals square root of x, and you were pretty good with that. Then we worked through the radical expression and simplified it. Then we took, even though imaginary numbers seemed a little bit strange to you, we could deal with them with normal algebraic operations. Take 2 times what they say x is and subtract 4 times what they say y is. And then we simplified this. We didn't do this one and this one. Very good. On this one, we just took b squared minus 4ac and looked for it to be greater than 0 so that you would have 2 real solutions. Or if it was equal to 0, you would have 1 real solution. So when we get down to b squared is greater than or equal to some number, take the square root of b squared, and you have to take the positive or negative square root of 112. And that means b is greater than the greater one, the positive one, and or b is less than or equal to the negative one. This one, to sum up an infinite series, the formula is whatever the first number in the series is, times in parentheses 1 minus the common ratio, the number you multiply by each time. In this case, you multiply by 3 each time. And then we have to figure out that last term in the series. Which term in the series is it? It turned out to be 5 times 3 to the 9th, so that made it the 10th term in the series. So you take 5 times in parentheses 1 minus 3, which is the common ratio, to that 10th power, because it's the 10th term in the series that we're adding up till. And the denominator is 1 minus the common ratio, 1 minus 3. And we got the right answer, whatever that was. And we didn't do this one. Why is there that line there? I don't know. Okay, then we went through this parabola, which if that's a little confusing to you, feel free to ask me and I'll explain some more about it. But the general form is whatever term is squared equals 4p times the term that's just to the first power. So we have x plus 5 squared. That means the x is the squared term. That means the x-coordinate of the center is negative 5. And we arranged that equation to be negative 8 times y plus 1. That means the vertex is negative 5, negative 1. And that negative 8 is 4p. That's the general form of the conic section parabola formula. So that p equals negative 2, that means from the vertex you go down 2 to get to the focus. And we have a downward facing parabola. And there you go. So you can ask me if you have any more questions about that. I'll be glad to explain any more about it. And let's see if that's all we did. Oh, here we go. The domain is just to find out what values of x give you under the square root sign something that's greater than or equal to 0. And we did that with our calculator. We looked at the curve, found out the curve is greater than 0 between negative 5 and negative 1 and 5. And it crosses the x-axis at negative 1 and 5. So negative 1 is part of the answer, and also 5 is. So it's negative 1 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 5. So you let me know later if you... here we have something else. That's right. So that was that extra problem that we solved for when it hits the ground, and then also use the quadratic formula. And then also you had to find out when it's above 1,000. So you can solve with the quadratic formula to find out when it equals 1,000, the 2 times when it equals 1,000, and it's above 1,000 everywhere in between. My picture of the parabola there shows that it hits 1,000 over on the left, and it's above 1,000 all in here, and then on its way down it hits 1,000 again. So you got to find out what those 2 points are with a quadratic formula, and the answer will be this point is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to this point will be your solution. So I think that's the last one we did. I'll send the link for this video over to you as soon as it's ready. Bye-bye.